Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and in today's reading, I wanted this reading to be all about what piece of advice do you need for right where you are right now. So for some of you, you're going through a career journey and, maybe right where you are, you're feeling a little bit confused or a little bit lost. For others, maybe it's like a relationship journey. You're not sure why things aren't working out. For others, maybe it's like a personal journey that you're on. You're like, I just don't know why I feel so weird right now. Things just don't they feel off. And so I wanted this reading to be a piece of advice for wherever you are on whatever journey, wherever you are right now, what do you need to hear? So that's what this reading is going to be all about, and I have 3 different readings for you to choose from. We have pile 1 with the green aragonite, pile 2 with the malachite, and pile 3 with the blue lace agate. So go ahead and pause, figure out which reading you feel most drawn to. I'll leave timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading you want to listen to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the green aragonite, then this is the reading for you. And I actually think that this reading could be interpreted 2 separate ways. For some of you, I think that this could be a career reading, and for others of you, I think it could actually be a romantic reading. But I think the similarity that I see here for all of you is just, there's this feeling that what you're currently doing, whether it's a relationship or career, it initially felt like something you were very passionate about. It felt like something that you loved, you wanted to pursue it, and for some reason, things have started feeling more like a chore rather than like doing what you love. And whereas you used to be moving forward based on like passion and energy and like, I want to chase this thing, I'm attracted to this thing, I want this to work out, I'm so excited by all these new ideas or new things that we could do. Now it's starting to feel like, okay, what's happening next week? Like what's next on the to-do list? What do I need to get in line? And it just feels like, whereas you used to be running off this pure wand energy, the wands is the suit of fire, it's the suit of passion and creativity. You used to be running off that pure energy, but now that energy is gone and it's like, what else do you have to run off of? Discipline? The drive to just keep going just because? And so what you're being asked to do is really make a decision. If this is something that's not emotionally fulfilling you anymore, if this isn't something that you love, a change needs to be made. Now, that could be a change to, how can I reignite this thing? How can I fall back in love with this? Whether it's, like I said, a career or romantic relationship, if this is something that you care about pursuing, this is something that you want to make a reality, you want it to be strong, you want it a part of your life, you need to ask yourself, is it worth it to work on this and try to find that spark again? Is it worth it to try to find that inspiration and that passion again? Or do I just feel like this thing is no longer for me? Do I feel like, this well has run dry, I need to move on to something else? Because truly the ball is in your court, it's your decision to make. But what I'm seeing here with the Fool and the Six of Swords and the King of Cups, the King of Cups reversed to me is showing me you're no longer emotionally fulfilled. Like this thing is no longer making you happy. It's starting to feel more like a chore rather than something that you love and you want to do. It's feeling like it's draining you. And the Fool and the Six of Swords is all about moving on to something else, moving away from something that's no longer suiting you to something better. And sometimes that moving on process can be painful. Sometimes it's not what we want to do, but it's in our best interest because we're moving away from something that's no longer suiting us to something better. And the Fool is all about carefree creativity, following your passion, almost to a fault. Like the Fool is about like childlike energy and happiness and wanting to chase that happiness. And so you could ask yourself, this thing used to make me feel this childlike wonder and joy. Is it worth it to try to reignite that? Is it worth it? Like, should I revisit what did I love so much about this to begin with so that I can tap back into that energy and keep moving forward with it? Because sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes we get too fixated on like money, for instance, and then it starts to feel like a chore and a point of stress rather than something that we love to do. Or for relationships, sometimes we get so fixated on other things going on in our life that we start to overlook why we fell in love with this person in the first place. Why am I here? Why do I love to be around this person in the first place? Sometimes we just forget those things. So I feel like the piece of advice that you have right now is, if you're starting to feel worried, like, is this still for me? Should I stick around here or should I move on? You just need to ask yourself, are you able to fall back in love with this thing? Or is this thing truly not for you anymore? If it's truly not for you and you're just very emotionally dissatisfied and maybe the rose-tinted glasses have come off and you're realizing like, oh, things actually aren't perfect here. I don't know if this is where I want to stay the rest of my life. That's okay. It's okay to move on. It's okay for things to not work out. But if maybe, like I said, maybe there's just momentary things going off that's making money tight, or there's a lot of stress on your plate, and because of that, this, emotional well has run dry, and you're like, I just don't have room for passion right now. Maybe it's just, all it needs is to be reignited. You need to remember why you fell in love with this thing in the first place. You need to remember what you love about being where you are. That's all you need right now. It's just a reevaluation. Sometimes we get distracted with other priorities and we forget why are we here in the first place? Or it could just be that, like I said, the rose-tinted glasses have come off and you're realizing, oh, this partner isn't actually somebody I really vibe with. Our values are actually not very aligned. Or maybe with your career, it's like, oh, I thought I liked this thing, but I actually feel this creative tug in a slightly different direction. Don't beat a dead horse. Like, if it's not working out, you need to admit that. But also, really use your own discretion, because maybe it's not necessarily that it's not working out, it's just it requires more effort for you to put in. Because it's really easy to be passionate about something or someone in the beginning, and then when that passion slowly dies out, what you're left with is, do we have a strong foundation? Is this something that I can keep going with even on days I'm not feeling inspired? Even on days that I'm not feeling passionate? Is this something that I still want to do? Is this still something that I want to pursue? Is this a relationship I could still see myself being in? So I think that's what you need to hear. And the bottom of the deck energy that we have for you is the Ten of Pentacles. This is a very, very good card to get. It's all about abundance on every level. I think you are destined to have abundance of love, of creativity, of happiness, of money. But it's all about making sure that you're following the direction that your heart wants to go in. Don't run yourself into the ground. If something doesn't feel right, it's okay to pivot. And it's also okay to really look at that thing and say, is this thing not feeling right because I'm not putting in enough effort? How can I alter this so that we get back on the right track, so that you can get towards this Ten of Pentacles energy, this abundance energy? So, pile one, that is everything that I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, but thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile two. If you chose the Malachite, then this is the reading for you. Something that I found very interesting about both you and pile one is I truly felt like the reading could be read in either a romantic context or in a career context. And I'm also getting that with you, which is very odd because usually I can tell, either it's just romantic or it's just career. But I don't know. Maybe this is just like an all-around message that multiple people are meant to hear. So the reason that I say all that is because you have all these wonderful cards, like, urging you to go down this path, pursue this thing. It will end well. It will bring you the abundance that you are searching for on whatever level you're searching for, whether it's monetary abundance, abundance of love, if you're trying to go after a relationship. I see just like the Ace of Cups is about abundant love, abundant emotion, having so much emotional energy to give, just feeling like your cup is overflowing. The Ten of Pentacles is quite literally abundance on every level. Like, it's truly the peak of what you could hope your life to be. And the Knight of Wands is all about like pursuing something with a passion and energy. But then you have the Moon card and the Three of Wands reversed. And the Moon card to me reads about like uncertainty. It's a little bit fearful because it's like you have to go down this path, but it's nighttime, it's dark, and there's these wild dogs that are growling around and you just feel scared and you're like, is this the right path for me? And then with the Three of Wands reversed, this is like hesitancy, like feelings of like you're going down this path but you're turning your head back and you're like, should I just turn around? Should I just stop right here? And so what I'm getting is every sign is pointing you towards keep going in this direction. Keep pursuing what you want to pursue. And I'm just going to say right here at the beginning, like I said, this could either be a romantic context or a career context. But I feel like for the majority of you, it's going to click right away because you've recently had, I don't know, like an option come up, like a new opportunity or a new person. Like if it's romantic, you have a new person around you who's interested in you and you're interested in them, but you're just not sure. You're like, all my past relationships were doomed to fail and I don't know if I'm healed yet, or maybe you've been telling yourself this story of like, it's like right person, wrong time. And something I want to tell you is when I got into the relationship that I'm in right now, we have been together for 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in September. And at the beginning of the relationship, I truly felt like it's just the right person, wrong time. I'm going off to college. It might not work out. I'm still kind of dealing with a past relationship that I was in. If I had listened to that voice in my head that was like, it's not the right time, and like all these fears of, oh, but it might not work out, I wouldn't be in the beautiful relationship that I am today. And same thing with following your passions and following the career that you want. Being an entrepreneur, for example. If you follow that voice in your head that's like, well, it's so much easier to just get a 9 to 5, being an entrepreneur is going to take a lot of time and money and blah, 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 blah. Okay, then you'd never have that opportunity to see what could happen if you pursued that idea in your head. Like maybe you've had a really great idea of a career or a business idea come to your mind, but then it's like the fears are like, oh, well, I don't know if that's the right path. It could work. It could not work out for this and this and this reason. And, what if I fail? And then it sets me back. Time-wise, I could be investing in this career instead, and I could be so much further ahead. And it's like, you have this idea or this desire, this thing come to you, this opportunity come to you for a reason. It wants to be manifested through you. This relationship, this person and you, it could end up being a beautiful relationship. And you know what? Maybe it might not work out too, but it's all about you putting yourself out there and proving to yourself that you can do it. Getting over those fears to prove to yourself that when you want something, you can go after it. Because if you never try, it's going to get harder and harder for you to get yourself out of your shell. Because you're going to keep telling yourself, look at how much safer it is in this shell when we don't go out. And you're like, yeah, you're right. And that shell will harden and harden until it gets a point where it's so difficult to break out then that you can't, or you feel like you can't. So what I'm trying to tell you here is the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups tells me you're going to have abundance on every level if you can pursue your heart, if you can pursue this thing that you desire to pursue. Ace of Cups is literally, Cups is the suit of water, it's the suit of emotion. And with it overflowing like this and the hand reaching out to give you this overflowing cup, it's like the universe reaching out to you with this opportunity of, look at this overabundance of love that I can give to you. This overabundance of happiness that it's in the palm of my hand, just take it. And then you have this 10 of Pentacles that is this abundance of money or material wealth. It's this abundance of everything on the material plane feeling complete. Everything feeling like everybody around you is happy, everybody's taken care of. And it's like, look at this abundance that I can give you if you only follow your heart. But what it requires of you is movement. It requires you to take action. This Knight of Wands here is you. The Wands is the suit of passion, of fire, of energy. It requires creative energy. It requires passion. It requires fast movement forward, decisive movement. It requires you to listen to that piece of your heart that's like, I want to do this, and shut everything else out. Follow that voice that's like, yes, let's go, let's go, let's go. Because if you stop, if you slow down, if you keep turning your head back, it's going to slow down that part of your heart. It's like, come on, let's keep going with this momentum. It requires you to follow that heart and tune everything else out. Like move forward like a bull. Like just run straight forward. Now, I'm not saying be reckless, but I'm saying when you get those hits of, like for an analogy, for example, let's say you're a writer and you have this creative inspiration literally striking you like a lightning bolt, and all of a sudden you're so inspired to write. But then there's a voice in your head that's like, well, nobody's going to like that story idea, so then it slows you down. But if you shut that out and you're just like, okay, let's get it all pen to paper, let's write it all out right now, you could create so much. You could channel so much of that energy that it ends up being an amazing novel that people would love. And it was just the voice in your head that's like, nobody's going to like this. Like for example, my favorite book series is the weirdest book series ever. It's The Locked Tomb by Tamsin Muir. If you've ever read this book series, like let me just fangirl for a second. My favorite character gave herself a lobotomy. Like, it's weird. It's a weird ass book, but it's so good. And it's very hard to explain because it's super convoluted. But like, imagine being that writer and having all these ideas coming to you and being like, Well, no, nobody would like that story. It's kind of weird. It's kind of macabre. And then I'm over here like, oh my god, this gothic science fantasy is so good. And it, like, if there is a passion within you, it is also a passion that other people could feel passionate about. The fact that you feel passionate about it is a sign to show that it is possible for others to feel passionate about it as well. There are billions of people in this world, and yes, there are going to be people that hate it. There's going to be people that, for example, read that book series and give it 1 star. Me, I would give it 1,000,000 stars if I could. You can't please everybody. But if you only listen to the haters or the people that won't like it, you're not going to get very far. So remind yourself, if I enjoy this thing, if I feel passionate about it, I'm sure there are 1,000,000 other people out there that could feel the same way about it too. Listen to that voice. Listen to the love. Don't listen to the hate. Don't listen to the fear. Because I see in the moon card, you are destined to go through this path. And yes, you're not quite sure where it's going to lead. It's dark outside. You can't quite see where you're going. Maybe you hit roadblocks or maybe speed bumps along the way. But it is all leading you in the direction you were meant to go to. Like, I can't emphasize enough how important the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups card are. Like, if you know tarot, you know just how powerful these cards are. You are destined to go in this direction. I see there is something amazing that you are meant to do. But you just need to follow your heart. You need to just follow the love instead of the fear. When you can tune out that fear, you are capable of so much. So, Pile 2, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, leave it a like or let me know if this resonated, because I always like to hear from you guys, you know, if something resonated, just the different ways that you guys interpret it. But that is all that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, Pile 3, last but certainly not least. If you chose the blue lace agate, yeah, I always forget the names of my crystals for some reason, then this is the reading for you. And point blank, I see that if you've been drawn to this pile, you have gone through a breakup. If that doesn't sound like you, then you probably chose the wrong pile, or it could just be that this video isn't meant for you. But I'm getting that right out of the way first because the first 2 piles felt very general. Like it could go either in a romantic direction or a career direction, but yours is just point blank. It seems like you've been through a breakup. Like, that's what I'm seeing here. Because the 3 of Swords is all about heartbreak. You can literally see, like, if you look at this card, I don't need to tell you what it means. You're like, yeah, there's 3 swords going through a heart. That's a heartbreak. And then it's clarified by the 5 of Pentacles, which this card I always call being stuck out in the cold card, or when you're left out in the cold, because you see these people, they have injuries, they're freezing, they're walking barefoot through the snow, and there's this building right behind them, and, you know, they haven't been let in. And then with the World card reversed, it's literally like your world has been turned upside down. Like, that is the phrase that came to mind. And so I just see you're going through a heartbreak over being cut off from somebody who, I truly believe that this was a romantic relationship, but, you know, if this was maybe, no, you know what, I was gonna say maybe it could be like a person passed away or a person has left you, but I really get the sense that it's just like a romantic breakup. The advice that you need to hear right now is, I see with the World card, you feel like your world has been turned upside down, but this person was not your world. And I truly believe that we are always being guided to what is best for us. And if things are taken out of our life or things are ended, it's happening for a reason. And I know nobody likes to hear that when they're in like the pits of despair or the pit of like a travesty. It's like the last thing I want to hear is everything happens for a reason. Like, and I get that. But the biggest piece of advice that you're being given here is this person was not your world. You are your world. And if this person was removed, it's because you were meant to grow further than you ever could have with this person. And I don't know how long it's been since you and this person broke up. I get the sense that it's pretty recent for the majority of you. But I want to say that you are destined for so much more than just this person. And good things are not removed from our life just to hurt us. If something is removed from your life, it's because it wasn't really meant for you. It's because there is much better that you are meant for. There is somebody out there that is better for you. And maybe this person was holding you back. In fact, I see that they were. I see with the 7 of Pentacles, this card is all about growth and, you know, trying to sow the seeds of something for it to be fruitful. I get the sense that whatever direction you want to take your life, or whatever values you have, or whatever you want to do, it's not that this person would have outright stopped you, but I certainly think that they would have held you back. Whether it's their own ego, or not wanting to see you move on, or not wanting to see you be better than them, I see that your growth would have been stifled if they stayed with you. And I'm not trying to say that this was a terrible person or that you shouldn't be upset. I think it's completely valid to mourn a breakup, to mourn a relationship with a person, especially if it's somebody that you loved. But when you tell yourself, my world is upside down, this person, compared to you, you are your world. This was just a piece of that. This was just something floating by. You cannot see them as better than yourself. You cannot see them as more important than yourself and your journey and your life. And I get the sense that you're giving so much importance to them and mourning this relationship, feeling like you're never going to get better, or feeling like you'll never be with somebody better than them. Like, the advice that I think you need to hear is stand up. Like, they were removed for a reason, and yes, it's okay to be sad, but do not ever for a second think that anybody other than you is your world. Think that anything other than you or what you want is better than your world. It's like often on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, when people see like a girl, for instance, crying over a guy, everybody in the comments is like, girl, stand up, because they truly think she is so much better than them, or like, why are you crying so much over somebody that wasn't good to you, or somebody that wasn't meant to be in your life? But I understand being sad over somebody that you still mourn the relationship, you still miss them. But when I'm saying stand up, I'm not saying it's not okay to cry over this person. I'm saying don't for a second ever believe anything is better than you. Don't for a second ever believe that anybody is more important than you. Because if you start giving that importance over and giving up your, your self-confidence, or being like, I'll give you anything, giving every last penny to somebody just to let them stay, you're better than that. You're more deserving than that. And with the Ace of Swords reversed, I feel like this card is trying to tell you that it's time to move on and to not reach out or take any action towards this person. For instance, I don't know who it was. There's somebody recently around me that was talking about, it was my girlfriend, her coworker. Her coworker just got broken up with by his girlfriend. They had been together for a long time, but they were still in the same friend group. And if you're ever in that situation, you know how painful it is, because you want to see your friends, but you're still seeing that person. And this is just my philosophy, but I believe when you break up with somebody and you are like emotionally not okay over it and you are still healing from it, I do not think that you should see that person. You need to be cut off from them cold turkey, because relationships are a lot like addictions. You know, there's so many feel-good hormones that you feel when you're with that person, and things that make you cling to them. And there's this honeymoon phase that you're in with them for the first 3 months, and then I heard something that was like, it takes twice as long to heal from a relationship as the relationship was long. So if you were with this person for 3 months, it's going to take you 6 months to heal from them. And if you still stay around them, or you're still reaching out to them, or you're still in contact with them, it's only prolonging that healing process. And once you're able to be fully healed and you take off these rose-tinted glasses, I think you're finally going to realize, yeah, you know what? I do see the ways in which I was being held back. I do see the ways in which this relationship wasn't truly meant for me. Or, you know, for all I know, you and this person are going to get back together in the future, and that's perfectly fine too. But this break is happening for a reason. The universe is trying to show to you that you need to be on your own, because your own growth needs to be prioritized right now. Your own growth is what is most important right now. And so I feel like this message isn't necessarily about how to heal, because the healing process looks different for everybody. And what I see with the Three of Swords is this is something that is still weighing heavy on your heart. This is still something that hurts very bad, and you still feel like you're out in the cold. But what I want you to hear right now is this, and this just came to mind. You see the Five of Pentacles card, how I was talking about you feel like you've been left out in the cold and you're not being let back in. You're not being let back into their home, but you need to find and make your own home. You need to find and let yourself into your own home. Because like with the world comment, for example, you feel like your world has been turned upside down. If you make somebody else your world and you are not your own world, then losing them feels like your world is turned upside down. But if you feel like you've built up a strong enough foundation where you can stand on your own 2 feet and people can come and go, and yeah, it's a little bittersweet when they come and go, but you are still standing strong on your own, that's when you're going to have true self-esteem, true self-confidence. Because right now, no wonder everything feels shattered. You never had anything on your own. You never had your own strong foundation to stand on. You never had your own world. Everything was just centered around this other person. And if you have that, you're never going to have true stability or true self-confidence or true self-esteem, because it's all based on, how do I look standing next to this person, or what does this person think of me, or, if I'm standing next to this person or I'm in a relationship, that means that I mean something. And no, you need to mean something on your own. You need to have your own home that you feel comfortable inside. And instead of being cast out of other people's, you're casting out people that aren't serving you. People that aren't making you feel good. People that are leeching off of you, or relationships that aren't working for you. Instead of you constantly feeling like you're the one getting pushed out. You're the one getting left behind. You will have your own home to stand on. And when breakups happen, instead of feeling like you are being cast out into the cold, it'll feel like, well, now my home's a little bit more empty, but that's okay because I can fill it with something better. Like, there's a big difference, and I think that is why this breakup hurts so bad, is because maybe you were the one that was left, or you were the one that was betrayed, or you were the one that was cast out. And it's like, if you can stand on your own 2 feet, it will not feel like you are being the one cast out, because you have your own strong foundation. Instead, it'll feel like a mutual severing of ties, but right now it feels so monumental because you based your whole world around this person instead of having your own world, if that makes sense. I'm really trying to emphasize that the advice that your spirit guides are trying to give here is, first of all, you have so much growth to be had. You have so much success that you have yet to attain, and so many experiences that you have yet to attain. Like, for example, let's say you're in a relationship with this person and they really want you guys to go to the same school together. You guys go to the same college. But then you have this feeling in yourself that's like, well, I want to go travel around Europe, or I want to go backpack around, or maybe I don't want to go to college right now. But because of this person, you're actually tied down, and you're like, okay, well, I'll put that off till later. And then come to find out they don't really like traveling. And so then you're like, okay, I'll put it off to even later. If you had stayed with this person, you never would have gotten to have all those experiences. But because this person is removed from your life, the universe is offering you up all these experiences that you have yet to be had. And like I said, maybe in the future you'll end up back with this person. But you need to be shown life on your own can actually be more beautiful. Life on your own, when you build yourself up and allow your heart to pursue what you want to pursue, can actually be so much more bright and beautiful if you just allow it to happen. And so, Pile 3, I'm going to leave with that, because I feel like I could just keep rambling on and on about all of this, but just remember the healing process looks different for everybody, and it's going to take some time, but the thing that's going to help you the most is having no contact. And of course you have your own free will, you can do what you want, but I've been there multiple times, and it's always easier when you can just go no contact and just fully let go. And learn to build up your own life, build up your own foundation, so that when these things happen, it doesn't feel like you're losing everything. Instead, it's like, okay, I lost a relationship, but I still have myself, and I still feel confident standing on my own 2 feet. So, that's what I'll leave you with. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.